Gym channels keep calling HMB the secret to quick muscle recovery. If it is only a leucine leftover, why does the marketing sound stronger than a protein shake? And who is that claim even for? Beginners chasing pumps, older adults protecting independence, or people actually losing muscle under stress?
HMB is beta-hydroxy-beta-methylbutyrate, a natural leucine breakdown product. Muscle can make a little from leucine, and ordinary meals rarely deliver the gram-scale doses used in trials. So the pathway is real, but the supplement conversation is about concentrated exposure, not leftover amino acids on a dinner plate or a quiet micronutrient gap you can fix with one extra serving of meat.
Is the main story that HMB builds new muscle protein, or that it mainly slows breakdown when training, aging, or illness is chewing tissue down? Those are different promises with different proof standards and different buyers.
Both pathways show up. Reviews describe HMB as a possible brake on proteolysis, including ubiquitin proteasome signaling in more catabolic states, and as a stimulus that can support protein synthesis through mTOR-related routes. That dual framing matters because a hypertrophy booster and a muscle preservation aid are different bets with different evidence ceilings, and marketing often blurs them on purpose. In a recent randomized trial, trained and untrained men took liquid free acid HMB at about 90 milligrams per kilogram of fat-free mass daily. When that dose was paired with high-intensity functional training, aerobic fitness markers improved more than placebo, especially in trained men. Maximal voluntary isometric strength did not change with treatment, which should recalibrate any brochure that sells HMB as an automatic strength stack.
So if someone buys HMB expecting denser muscle or bigger lifts from that protocol, is strength the wrong scoreboard after only a few weeks of mostly aerobic and threshold testing rather than a hypertrophy block?
That skepticism is fair. An elite judo pilot using 1 gram of free acid HMB after simulated Olympic bouts found no clear group win on creatine kinase or overall oxidative stress markers, even though some antioxidant enzymes rose temporarily. Enzyme blips are not the same as stronger muscle, less soreness that matters in training, or faster return to sport. In community-dwelling older adults, a crossover trial compared 40 grams of whey alone with whey plus 3 grams of calcium HMB. Feeding raised muscle protein synthesis in everyone. And in older women, HMB further amplified that fed response. Breakdown also stayed suppressed longer with HMB than with protein alone, which is exactly where anabolic resistance makes an adjuvant more biologically plausible.
Fitness videos love pairing creatine with HMB for older adults. Does that stack actually help real-world function under training? Or is it just two trendy powders sharing a confident thumbnail?
A randomized crossover in physically active adults 60 and older combined creatine plus HMB with supervised integral conditioning. Functional strength and endurance improved more on the active stack, and analyses suggested those gains were largely independent of measured muscle mass change. That is a performance signal worth respecting, not proof you bought bigger muscle on the scanner. Before those stacks become default advice, keep the consumer boundary clear. Dietary supplement evidence varies widely by product. Store versions can differ from study products, and supplements may interact with medicines or matter if you have disease or upcoming surgery. That is ordinary safety literacy for any powder aisle, not an anti-HMB scoreboard meant to end the conversation.
In sarcopenia reviews, where does HMB actually rank against whey, vitamin D, or combination nutrition? Does it win the network for grip, gait, or muscle index, or mostly sit in the pack?
A large network meta-analysis in older adults with sarcopenia found several anti-inflammatory nutrition strategies can help strength, mass, or performance. Whey, vitamin D, and epicatechin ranked best for specific primary endpoints, while combined supplements looked most favorable overall. HMB was included as one option in the network, but it was not the automatic first pick across every muscle outcome.
What about intensive care, cirrhosis, or hip fracture wards? Should families treat HMB like a muscle-saving hospital nutrient off the shelf, or is that clinician-only territory with monitoring built in?
The clinical signals are real, but specialized. In critically ill adults, about 3 grams of HMB daily linked to a different inflammatory pattern and higher intracellular pools of selected amino acids, including glutamine. A cirrhosis sarcopenia pilot with an HMB oral nutrition supplement was well tolerated and improved some within group function markers, yet did not clearly beat control on muscle mass or hand grip. Hip fracture and malnourished hospital studies often use protein formulas that also contain HMB, sometimes with creatine. Early mobility or mortality signals can look meaningful, yet you cannot isolate HMB when the packet also delivers protein, calories, and other actives. Credit the whole intervention, or you will overlearn from one flashy line on the label.
If someone already hits high protein and progressive lifting with decent sleep, when does added HMB become mostly redundant marketing rather than a missing metabolite the body somehow cannot make on its own?
Common study doses cluster near 3 grams a day of calcium HMB, while newer free acid protocols sometimes dose higher by fat-free mass. Absorption claims differ by form, but superiority is not settled. Pregnancy, significant kidney disease, active disease-related wasting care, complex medication regimens, and peri-procedure timing belong with a clinician, not a shopping cart algorithm. Use HMB as a context tool. The fairest evidence case is aging anabolic resistance, medically supervised catabolic recovery, or trained athletes chasing aerobic capacity with hard conditioning, not beginners who mainly need protein and progressive overload. If walk speed, training tolerance, or strength tasks do not move after a fair trial window, stop paying for hope and keep the foundations that actually scale.